All right, someone, it was like 2 or 3 months ago, asked me about poker and health, like physical and mental health, and like if it's a problem, if it's difficult to achieve good health in both senses, and I thought I would answer that now. So for one, I think poker inherently is great for mental health. It's a game where you need to think. You know, people do like Sudoku, people do crossword puzzles, people take like sports and like TV show trivia quizzes, like anything that you have to think, like that's great. Poker, you need to think. You know, if you're like stocking shelves at Walmart, I'm not saying those people are pure evil, but I think after you kind of learn like where the things are in the back and, you know, what like direction to face them on the shelf, should like the barcode face out, should like the label face out, whatever. You know, you kind of go on autopilot. I don't think there's like a ton going on like mentally in a job like that. In poker, there is a ton going on mentally. So the game itself is great for mental health. It's also great for like the interactions, especially in Vegas. There's people from all over the country, all over the world. There's men and women. There are young people, middle-aged people, older people. You have people talking about hotels, people who want to talk about like air travel, how they got here, people who want to talk about the shows, people who want to talk about the restaurants, people who are in town for the sports. Like, I'm trying to get you out of the wind here. You have all that. So the game itself is great for thinking, and just like all the different types of people you meet and all the conversations you have, keep your mind going also. Something I hear people say, one thing I hear people say is that, you know, you're playing something where you only benefit if someone else is harmed. Okay, that's a terrible argument because that happens in almost everything. And no one talks about baseball like that. Like, if you get a hit in baseball, then the pitcher's opponent batting average went up. Like, something good happens for someone, something bad had to happen for someone. Music is the same thing. There might be like 100 people going for like one record deal, and, you know, one person gets it, that means the other 99 didn't. Academics is the same thing. I graduated from that actuarial science program. There were way more graduates that year than there were jobs. Job openings. I was not the only person who didn't get an offer to be an actuary. So someone got a position, that meant everyone else who didn't have a position yet did not get that position. Things are competitive. A ton of things are competitive. Poker's not the only one. So to say, oh, you're in a game where, you know, you only win if someone else loses, that's a ton of stuff out there. One thing that I think a lot of people get wrong is when so much is going against you that you can't control, people think like a mental breakdown is imminent. It makes you stronger. It's like adversity that makes you stronger. The stretch I had at the beginning of this year, the first 95 hours in Vegas, I think I lost about $2,500. I wasn't pleased about losing that money, even if I like managed to make 300 during that stretch, which would have been amazing. That is a lot less money than I expect to make over like my typical 95-hour stretch. But the fact that it happens is great, because the people who can't take it mentally leave, and the people who can take it stay. That 95-hour stretch minus $2,500, I think like a lot of other people would have lost more like $10,000 or $15,000. And for the people whose only income is poker, or whose main income is poker, when they have that 95-hour stretch, they quit and you never see them again. That's great for being a poker player. It filters out the people who are weak and only show up when things are great, and they don't show up anymore. And now it's more time I get to play against players who are worse in the player pool. Those people showed up when things were going perfectly. They had one bad stretch, they quit for life. So if everything just went perfectly, if like every hand I hit top boat and it held up, then like what's the point? There's no difference between a good day and a bad day. Like, bad times need to exist so that like the great times can exist. So a stretch like that, yeah, there's a lot that's outside your control. It's frustrating, but if you're prepared and you're not tilting and you're not losing your mind, it helps you. It doesn't feel like it is that day, but like months later, years later, it was a good thing that it happened. So poker inherently, I think, is great for mental health. As far as physical health goes, you know, there's exercise and there's eating. You can eat however you want to eat. You can eat healthy, you can eat unhealthy. The people who say there's no way to eat healthy if you're playing a ton of poker, like live poker, I mean, that's just an excuse. There are salads in the pizza place in Paris. There are salads in the patisserie in Aria. There are salads at Snacks in Bellagio. You could go to the MGM buffet and you've seen it. I've showed you the salads I put together at the salad bar. You could just eat like grilled peppers and onions, and you could just eat like turkey from the carving station. Like, there are healthy options all over. If you want to just eat pizza and burgers and go to CVS and buy candy, you can do that, but those are not the only options. So if you like care to eat healthy, you can do it. Even if you're not bringing it from home. Of course, if you brought food from home and like left it in a cooler in your car or something, or you like ate it while you're waiting for your seat, you could eat anything you want. Even if you're only going to eat in the casinos, there are healthy options. Probably the number one thing I've gotten at the cafe in Council Bluffs is the Cobb salad. There are healthy options out there. As far as exercise goes, yeah, while you're playing, there's not so much exercise. Did see a guy at MGM this year who had that thing you squeeze and it works your forearms, so you could do that. He actually wasn't using it, and I took it for a while. But there's time in the day besides that. First of all, in Vegas, I hop casino so much, there are a lot of days I get a lot of steps in. But even without that, you could just allot time to exercise, to go to a weight room. Even if you're not going to do that, people ask me in the comments if I go to the weight rooms when I'm staying in the casino hotels. I never have, but that doesn't mean I don't exercise. In my room, I often do like squats or lunges or push-ups or sit-ups. Those four things, and there's many variants of each of those four things, those four things hit every like major muscle group in your body. Now, if you're trying to be like a bodybuilder, that's not going to do it. You're really going to need to go to a weight room. If you're just trying to like lose a little weight or maintain a healthy weight, or like make sure you burn a certain number of calories, that's fine. If you're willing to do it, you could exercise. If you're willing to eat healthy, you could eat healthy. The physical health is not inherent in poker, but it's not difficult to achieve if you're doing it. And I think the mental health is inherent in a game that requires so much thought, like poker. So that's my take on poker as it relates to physical and mental health. And now I'm gonna walk home. And remember, rice is a spoon food.